Adam Putnam is the first big-name Republican to enter the Republican race for governor in Florida, and he has been gearing up for quite a while.
We're pretty happy about what we're doing in Polk County right now.
Adam Putnam got elected as a Polk County lawmaker at the age of 22. Back then, they called him Opie, and by the age of 26, they sent him to Congress.
Holy cow, look at all these people.
He came in with Paul Ryan nearly 20 years ago, and he shot up in leadership and became the third highest ranking Republican in the House.
Just happy to be here. They can put me in a broom closet.
But he says he got tired of the ways of Washington and set his sights on state government. He served as our Commissioner of Agriculture for the past 6+ years. And now he wants to run the state.
I am running for governor of the state of Florida. How are you?
I met Putnam at a campaign stop in Dover and sat down with him to see where he stands and what he would change.
Commissioner Putnam, thank you for your time.
Thanks for being here. It's great to be with you.
So Florida opted out of the Medicaid expansion. If you become governor, would you also consider or refuse to consider opting out of protections for people with pre-existing conditions if you have the choice?
You know, so much of this is being driven by what does or doesn't happen in Washington. Healthcare costs have consumed the state budget. It's the Pac-Man of the state budget. It's 30% of the state budget, give or take. And much of that is dictated by DC policies. So we need to roll up our sleeves and make sure that whatever changes occur in Washington are the right fit for Florida.
And if that involved taking away protections for people with pre-existing conditions, are you open to that or not open to it?
We should protect the pre-existing condition component of that. But the important thing is to have a vibrant marketplace where people have choices on who their insurer is, who their provider is, have access to affordable care, and that it represents what Florida needs. I mean, Florida's not Kansas. The challenges of our Medicaid population and our low-income population are very different, as well as the needs of our hospitals who have large emergency room visits that are uncompensated at the moment.
Do you think Governor Scott made a mistake in derailing high-speed rail in Central Florida?
Well, I think that we are going to have any number of options for moving people around in the future. You look at how fast the technology is changing. Uber has quickly disrupted the taxi cab industry. What is the potential for driverless vehicles, and how will that impact our inner cities, and how much parking is now required to be constructed or made available for downtown condominiums? This is an exciting time for communities like Tampa Bay, where you've got this major redevelopment going on, and at the same time disruptive technologies that are impacting transportation.
And knowing that, would you push for high-speed rail if elected governor, and to what extent, if so?
Well, what we have now on the East Coast is a privately funded, substantially privately funded high-speed rail that I think is a perfect test facility for, are people really willing to give up their car keys? Will people use it? Is the ridership there to justify the public expense of that technology?
An estimated $40+ million in legal bills in the water war with Georgia this year, $54 million the past couple of years, to no avail, apparently.
It's ridiculous.
Did Florida make a big mistake in suing Georgia?
I think it sounds like we made a mistake with the law firm we hired. $40 million in fees and nothing to show for it. Our Apalachicola oyster industry is in a free fall because they're not getting the water from Georgia. And if the Supreme Court can't recognize that, I can't even imagine how they would view any other option but freeing up more water to come down that river to save not only the ecosystem of Apalachicola Bay, but the jobs and the families whose livelihoods depend on that bay.
But the Corps controls the flow of water, and the Corps doesn't answer to Georgia, it answers to Congress. So
well, the Corps of Engineers does answer to Congress if they answered anybody. I've never seen much proof they answered anybody. They're they're out of control. So there needs to be a multi-pronged strategy. We need to continue to pursue the case against Georgia in the Supreme Court. We need to get Congress to rein in the Corps of Engineers. And I would hope that we can, at the same time, be working with Georgia and Alabama to come to some sort of settlement that will save our industry and save jobs in Florida.
When you're in Congress, the debt shot up from around $6 trillion to around $14 trillion, then shot up much more from there. Do you regret any of the votes, be it the war in Iraq, be it the tax cuts, be it the expansion of Medicare, that helped the debt shoot up?
Congress is a hot, wet mess. I'm proud that I got out of there with my soul and my sanity still intact. And for me, it's always been Florida first.
Medical marijuana didn't get implemented through the legislature, but it also conflicts with the federal prohibition on marijuana. Should Florida go into special session to implement an amendment that seems to conflict with federal law?
Well, the Florida voters, by a wide margin, inserted a medical marijuana provision into the state's constitution. That should be narrowly implemented to reflect the will of Floridians who voted for that. It should be for very serious cases where it's truly medical. I don't want Florida to turn into Colorado, and I don't want Florida to turn into California. It concerns me as an employer. It concerns me as a father. We don't need marijuana brownie shops on every corner next to our gymnastics studios and our taekwondo studios and our ball fields. And so it's very important that while we respect the constitutional amendment and the will of the voters, that we do so in a way that doesn't permanently destroy the things that make Florida, Florida.
Commissioner Putnam, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you.